Hello, my name is Eric, and today I'll give you a quick tutorial on how to operate certain functions on our PB4 indexing drive using the digital operator. The drive I'm using is a PB4 A002R301, and the motor I'm using is a PBM604 FXK20-M. Before I start, I want to discuss what each 7 segment represents and what each button does on the digital operator. On the front of the amplifier, you have 2 displays. The top one is the mode display LED, and the bottom one is the data display LED. You also have 3 buttons or switches. Switch 1 is your mode button, switch 2 is your data button, and switch 3 is your write button. So please keep that in mind throughout the video because I will be using the names accordingly. The first section I want to discuss is the amplifier display status. This function indicates the status of the amplifier. For example, if you turn the drive on and you see a rotating 8 shape on the data display, that indicates that you do not have any alarms and the motor is ready for operation. Also, if the motor is off, the data display will show 0. If you have an alarm on the drive, the data display will have a number 1 through 9 displayed or a letter A through L displayed. I would include a list of what each of those numbers or letters indicate when displayed on the drive. The next function I will show you how to use on the digital operator is how to select the correct motor. This is very useful since you do not want to have the incorrect motor selection and damage the motor you are using. To do this, turn the drive on without connecting the motor power and the motor encoder cable. An alarm will be displayed, either a 5 or a letter E. Please ignore this alarm for this step. Next, we will need to change the mode we are in. To do this, press switch 1 until a 2 is displayed. Initial value is a 0 and you will see that on the data display. So now I need to change the value to equal 4 using switch 2 since I am using a PBM604 motor. However, this value may be different for you depending on what motor you are using. I will include a chart that indicates what motor corresponds to which number. So after you have made the correct selection, press switch 3, which is the right button, and now you will have a solid 4 on the data display. So the motor selection will be saved after we power cycle the drive. Now that I have connected the motor back to the drive and power cycle the drive, I will show you how the parameter was saved by going back to the motor selection by pressing switch 1 until a 2 is displayed, and as you can see, a number 4 is displayed, not the default value 0. In this step, I will show you how to set the resolution of the motor encoder. To do this, press switch 1 until a 3 is displayed. Now you press switch 2 to change the setting value. If you want to set the resolution of the encoder to be 2000 pulses per revolution, a 2 will need to be displayed on the data LED display. I will also include a chart that will show what is the setting value for each resolution. Keep in mind that if the resolution is changed, electronic gear ratio is automatically set. Once you have the correct setting on the data LED, press switch 3 and the value you have selected will be written onto the drive. Once again, power cycle the drive to set the parameter. The last section of this video will be on how to use the jog operation and how to set the velocity for the jog operation. To start, we will set the velocity of the motor before we run it. Change the mode by pressing switch 1 until an 8 is displayed on the mode LED. A 1 will be displayed on the data LED. Set the velocity by pressing switch 2 to the desired value. For example, 2 sets the velocity to 200 RPMs. Write the velocity onto the drive by pressing switch 3. The data LED will show a solid 2. Now, go to mode 9 by pressing switch 1 once. To move the motor, press and hold switch 2 to go in the positive direction, or press and hold switch 3 to go in the negative direction. This concludes my quick tutorial on how to use the digital operator on our PB4 indexing drive.